Alright guys, so in today's video we want to talk about one certain topic, and that topic is about increasing your chances of being accepted as a developer into a project. Okay, so we're now switching perspectives from the last developer video, and I had a user called Nerfit recently joining my server and asking for advice. So his situation is that he's an experienced Roblox scripter, but he likes to work on backend stuff such as data stores and other types of systems which run in the background rather than doing front-end stuff such as attacks, so all kinds of that stuff. And that's the reason why owners, project leaders whatsoever do not really want him, because he doesn't work on that front-end stuff. And the topic now is, what can you do about it? So how can you deal with it? And of course I've already gave him some advice, but I want to share some advice with you as well. So you might be a modeler who, let's just say for example, who likes to work on weapons more than on hair, for example. Okay, so you have a specialization in one field while the others are weak. Okay, what can you do about it, and how can you increase your chance of being accepted into a project? So what you can do basically is that, well, of course, it is obvious that you can try to get better in those areas, that you can force yourself to work on those areas more and like them. Okay, so that is common sense. But what can you really do about it when you do not want to do that? Okay, and before we move on with this, even when it is common sense, and even when you guys know about it, I still recommend you to do it, because that's the solution with the best outcome. Okay, but if you really refuse to do it, then all you can do is to market yourself correctly. Okay, and everything now draws back to the topic of marketing. Okay, you guys might know that I've done a lot of real talk videos on my second channel, and also some on this channel right here. And in many of those videos I've talked about a topic around marketing. Okay, and I don't know if you guys find this funny or something like that, but considering that someone talks about marketing in a kids game in Roblox is a little bit funny. But yeah, so you have to convince the owner, the project leader, that your skills are important. Okay, now let's draw back to the example of back end, front end. Okay, so I hope that you guys have understood the difference. If not, back end things in scripting are things like a data store system, other types of systems which run in the background. Okay, while front end things are things like moves, yeah, any types of skills, stuff you can directly experience, you can directly see. Okay, so that's the difference you can make. And what I've basically told Nerfit was that he has to convince the owners, the project leaders, of the significance of back-end systems. Now, when you think about it, not really every, but many front-end things, front-end scripts base on back-end systems. Your whole game bases on back-end systems. Okay, if you have no data store, then you cannot really, well, you can of course script a move whatsoever, but it's still incomplete, because maybe you want to increase your experience every time when you punch someone. Okay, and increasing your experience implies that you have a data store. Okay, so you need a backend system. When you do a move, you might want to drain your stamina. You need a backend system again. So stamina system, we could count that as a backend system as well if you want to. But yeah, you guys hopefully get the point. If you have no backend systems, then there is no real point in having a front-end system other than just showcasing stuff. Okay, so all of these things you guys might be doing when you like posting your sneak peeks whatsoever. All right, and yeah, now I don't really know what you're doing. Okay, so what kind of struggles you have, but the advice is basically to convince the owner that your work is important as well, that your work is needed. Let's try to talk about modeling, for example. Okay, let's say that you like to do weapons but you cannot really create hair, for example, because creating hair is a little bit more complicated. So now this argument doesn't really work in this situation, because the creation of weapons is not really a base for creating hair, you know? That's where this argument then starts to fail a little, but you can still use the principle of trying to convince the owner. So what you have to do now is that you have to convince that creating weapons is as important as creating hair, if not more important, okay? So that's all you have to do now. And that is basically, that is the principle you have to do. Now, with that being said, guys, thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, share this video to all your friends, and feedback in the comment section. Guys, take care and see you next video.